Iblis was not ruined by ignorance. He was ruined by pride so strong that he stood before a clear command and still chose himself. That is why this story matters so much in Islam. It is not a small tale about one act of rebellion. It is a lesson about arrogance, envy, false reasoning, and what happens when ego rises above obedience. The story appears many times in the Qur'an. You see it in passages such as 2:34, 7, 11-18, 15, 28-44, 17, 61-65, 18, 50, 20, 116, and 38, 71-85. That repetition tells you something. This scene is central. The basic event is clear. Allah created Adam and honored him. Then the angels were told to prostrate before Adam. This was not worship of Adam as a god. It was obedience to Allah and a sign of honor given by Allah's command. All obeyed except Iblis. That single refusal changes the whole story. When Iblis is questioned, he gives his reason. He says he is better than Adam because he was created from fire while Adam was created from clay. That argument is the center of the problem. Iblis does not say he misunderstood. He does not say he never heard the command. He says, in effect, that his own judgment is better than obedience. Islamic scholars often describe this as Qibr, or pride, and not just ordinary pride. It is the kind of pride that makes a creature place personal status above a direct command from the Creator. That is why the story cuts so deeply. Knowledge alone did not save Iblis. Rank did not save Iblis. His fall came from self-exaltation. There is also envy in the story. Adam has been honored. Iblis cannot bear that honor. So the refusal is not only about material, fire against clay. It is also about wounded status. Why should this new being receive what I do not? That emotional logic is part of the moral warning. Resentment can turn recognition of truth into active rebellion. Many commentators also point out that Iblis uses bad reasoning. He compares substances. Fire seems higher to him than clay. But once Allah gives a command, that comparison no longer matters. A created material does not outrank revelation. So the argument fails on both moral and logical grounds. One very important verse is Qur'an 18:50. It says Iblis was of the Jinn and rebelled against the command of his Lord. That verse is a key reason the mainstream Sunni view says Iblis was not an angel in essence. He was a Jinn who had a high station among the angels and was included in the command. That matters because angels are not normally described in Islamic theology as beings who rebel in this way. Then come the consequences. Iblis is cursed. He is cast out from divine mercy. He asks for respite until the day of resurrection. That respite is granted. Then Iblis vows to mislead human beings from every direction. This is where one decision becomes history for every later soul. Before this scene, the story is about creation and honor. After this scene, the story includes temptation, moral struggle, repentance, and testing. But Islam draws an important line. Iblis is not a second god. He is not Allah's equal rival. He is a created being operating only within the limits Allah allows. That keeps the story from becoming a battle between two divine powers. Allah remains fully sovereign. Iblis remains a rebel creature, real in danger but never equal in power. Another key contrast makes the lesson even sharper. Adam also slips later. But Adam repents. Iblis sins and then doubles down. That is a huge difference. Islam does not define humanity by inherited guilt from Adam's mistake. It defines humanity by responsibility, weakness, and the possibility of repentance. Iblis becomes the opposite model. He refuses humility, refuses repentance, and turns his pride into a mission against others. That is why this scene is often used to warn believers about more than one ancient event. It warns against vanity. It warns against tribal pride. It warns against racism. It warns against spiritual superiority. It warns against the habit of saying, "I know better," when Allah has already spoken. And there is one more lesson hidden in the wording. The first great moral collapse here is not lust. It is not greed. It is not physical violence. It is arrogant self-preference. A being sees the truth and still says, "My rank matters more." That is why the story remains so powerful. Iblis was not lost because he could not see. He was lost because he could see and still would not bow.